nickname is at this point. It's been a while. And of course we got not CFB3 Roberto from the middle of nowhere. He's up there, and Lancaster. I'm the Lancaster. That means the Lidditz Micaiah Captain Boring is in town as well. So we're all here. Micaiah's looking like he's trying to broker a deal, or at least get us some interesting information. But it's the off season, so we don't have anything. Mostly because none of us have done research. My Firefox is updating, and we're going to bring to you the 4th&1 podcast. Robert told me, Micaiah, right before this, I don't know where you got this information from, but they have Penn State going 10-2 next year.
Yeah. This is really what was it? 24/7 Sports came out with their predictions.
It's like them, but then there's a bunch of other, everyone has it out now, but the consensus is Penn State going 10-2.
I just
don't know how.
Unless if this new offensive coordinator that they got is really gonna push the ball downfield, yeah, maybe. But also, I mean, Oregon's coming in, USC's coming in, UCLA's coming in, so it's gonna be quite difficult, I think, for them to go 10-2.
And what's their schedule this year?
So
don't they have USC?
They got West Virginia, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, Wisconsin, Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland, USC, and Ohio State. And they said the only two teams they're going to lose to are USC and Ohio State.
Give me that list.
Maryland, I don't know. Something about Maryland just jumps off. I know that they lost to Leah, but Maryland's always just hanging around. And you're right. I mean, there's no one outside of West Virginia. There's no one else really on that schedule that... I mean, if you look at Michigan's schedule, they got Texas, Oregon, Washington, Ohio State, USC, UCLA. I mean, they play all the newcomers.
Well, okay. So I'm looking at the schedule again. So did you guys recorded 2 weeks ago? Last week? When was this?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay. Did Chip Kelly leave UCLA yet?
Yes. Last week? Yes. Yeah.
He left last week. I was saying 2 weeks ago. Did he leave?
Yes, 2 weeks ago he did left.
Okay,
yes.
Just making sure for any of our fans that had their. I talked to a supposed college football fan yesterday who did not know. She's an Ohio State fan. She did not know that Chip Kelly was their new offensive coordinator.
She doesn't know college football. Then.
She needs to listen to our podcast. That's what needs to happen.
Apparently, I'm like, you call yourself a fan and you don't know you got yourself a new offensive coordinator. So up until then, UCLA was possibly a loss. Wisconsin might also be a loss. We're forgetting this is not Ryan Day. What is his name? Luke Fickell?
Fickell.
Hey, yeah. Look at me. I actually remembered a name for once. This is Luke Fickell's second year at Wisconsin, and we don't know what Washington was like. How many players did they lose besides all of them? Because they lost a lot when what's-his-face went to, again, great nicknames.
DeBoer, yeah, they lost everybody. They might have one or two, but nothing.
But Washington got Jed Fish, who from Arizona. He runs a awesome offensive system that is wide open, and he has Will Rogers as a veteran quarterback. So it's not like they're just gonna be terrible. I mean, they're probably an 8-4
Will Rogers
club.
went to Washington?
Yeah, from Mississippi State.
Dear Lord, that is... All right. Keeping up, obviously, you guys didn't really cover a ton of the coaching carousels that happened last week. You covered enough of them. You covered a lot of them, or 2 weeks ago. But there have been... I didn't know, the Green Bay Packers signed Boston College guy, and then that Bill O'Brien went because his son plays for baseball for Tufts, which then opened it up, and then Chip Kelly. So what is it? 5 head coaches have since taken assistant coaching jobs in either the NFL. Has that number gone up at all?
No, I think that's pretty accurate, and we kind of talked about this 2 weeks ago. That's kind of the state of college football currently. That these coaches think that it's much easier just to call plays and be an offensive coordinator than it is be a head coach right now because of NIL and the transfer portal. A lot of coaches are complaining that you have to re-recruit your players every single year. And I don't blame them, but also these coaches can kind of go wherever they want, whenever they want. So it's only fair that the players can do that. But also, it is a little ridiculous when you have Caleb Downs at Alabama, made it to the CFP, Rose Bowl, lost to Michigan. Nick Saban leaves. They get Kalen DeBoer, who just had his team in the national championship. That's Washington, for those of you that don't know, for that one lady. And he's like, deuces, I'm out anyway.
Yeah, I think the impressive part, Robert, do me a favor, turn your mic down just a tad bit. I think the impressive part about this is, and this is what I want your guys' take on. Yesterday was the 30-day close for Harbaugh leaving Michigan. And I want to know, only one player left, and he was, let's be honest, possibly going to leave anyway had Harbaugh not stayed. So this was his reason to jump out of the portal. Or jump into the portal, sorry. So they lost 1, which is impressive. Does that say something after losing how many assistants? They only lost 1 kid. What does that? What did you say? All of them? What does that say about to you guys, especially for what you're seeing, about the Michigan program that Jerome is building?
I think it says that it's more about the culture, and that Harbaugh wasn't just the reason that the kids were there. It was the culture that the kids were there. Also, it would be really hard to justify if you were any of these young men who just won a national championship and are coming back. So Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Will Johnson, Colson Loveland, Donovan Edwards, all of those kids. It's going to be hard to justify leaving a national championship contending team when your coached you the last 4 seasons and you went 4-0 to jump ship to another team because you think that that'll give you a better chance to win. That just doesn't compute to me. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. I'm believing that it's mostly the culture that Harbaugh started that's just being continued, and that's why the kids are staying.
Yeah, I think it's more like they bought into the system.
Robert, I think you turned your mic up, not down.
I turned it up. Okay, let me turn it. Is that better?
Yeah, that's.
Okay,
you can go just a little bit further. You can go a little bit up.
Oh my gosh! Just leave him
Shut
alone and let him.
Stop it! I am the producer. Gosh darn it! I am back. You two had too much fun while I was gone. Let me have it.
Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just think they bought into the system. They know, and the people that they brought in are like it's the same system. Nothing essentially is really changing. I mean, with Makai saying how when kids would leave a national championship contender to go play somewhere else, I mean, we do kind of see that all the time, especially in the NFL. You know, you win the Super Bowl 1 year and then you kind of move on. It happens. That's what the kids do. You know, some kids, maybe they just don't like what's coming in, or, there's no saying that who's Orgy. There's no saying Orgy's essentially going to be the starter. So I wouldn't have blamed Orgy when a 5-star and a 4-star were coming in, or if another quarterback transferred in, I wouldn't blame them to be like, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm probably going to be the starter. But, that's just It's just the way the game is.
But you also have to remember that there's another transfer portal window at the end of spring practice, right, Robert?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can get through spring practice yet because the second portal window last year is when all of Michigan's players left. That's when Andrell Anthony left. That's when Andrell Anthony was the big one. That's when some other players met after the spring practice period and the spring transfer portal opened. So time still will tell on whether or not Michigan loses more than just Keon Sabb, who was Michigan plays a lot of players, but he was a rotation / starter for us at safety.
Right. But the reasoning has to be different. Like, they can't transfer out because Harbaugh left. It has to be a different reason. It can't just be, I'm just going to leave and go somewhere else because then I'm pretty sure they lose that year of eligibility.
Right. No, you're 100%. The reasoning does have to be different. And that's where, for me, it comes into place. If you are leaving Michigan because you think you have a better opportunity to, let's be honest, playing time and win the national championship, and you are the reigning national championships champion, whatever, you better be going to two places, Georgia or Texas, and that's it. Because those are the two front runners for next year. It's Georgia and it's Texas. You're not leaving for Ohio State.
Well, you're not going to leave for Ohio State because you're a Michigan player. I mean, even though there was that linebacker who did transfer there.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I would put Ohio State and Oregon definitely in that mix.
I would not. I would not. Ryan Day somehow either the football gods and / refs are against him, and he just either chokes it or he has it taken from him. Plus, he doesn't run the ball enough, and Oregon has every time that they are asked to muscle up in their two biggest games under Dan Lanning in their biggest games, they are unable to muscle, and they get muscled instead. So I'm not putting Oregon or Ohio State in there. For me, it is Texas with Quinn Ewers and a whole bunch of returning starters on offense. That's number two. But number one, first and foremost, is Georgia. And there's a healthy gap, especially with a 12-team playoff. So now, even if there's 6 that they get in, there's a healthy gap between 1 and 2 for me.
I mean, I guess time will tell, but when Ohio State is sitting there in the national championship game, Micaiah,
Ohio State ain't gonna be sitting there in the natty.
27th, 2024. You're going to sit here and go, at the beginning of the year, I said Ohio State was going to be that team to beat.
Nope. I'm not going to be saying that.
Previous episodes, I'm going to be like, bull.
Hey, listen. I got all the credit because I called Michigan national champions early last year.
Whoa. Okay. I haven't been listening for the past 10 minutes, but even I know I called Michigan's undefeated.
You called them undefeated, but I said that they should win the national championship. I made an Instagram post.
Yeah, but you didn't believe that. You just said that.
Well, correct. I didn't believe it, but I can
I actually believed that Michigan could go 15-0. So you can go ahead and put it in your mouth and smoke it, okay? And I'm not talking about whatever. Anyway, I want to transition to some actual... Hello. Is this not going to play for me? Oh, that's sad.
It went.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, it did your transition music.
I want to talk about a couple things that I'm seeing here. First of all, UMass, the Minutemen, returning to the MAC in 25-26.
That's
with all the conference realignment that's happening. We've seen very little from the MAC, including people leaving and coming. So this is the first reported addition to the MAC probably since.
Please don't say coming and Minutemen in the same sentence. Thank you.
Well, okay. I'm sorry that hits a little too close to home for you. But
hey, y'all.
My question here is, what is Don Brown thinking? Because he has one of the worst teams that we've seen since 2022 or 21, UConn. They should be Division 2. I watched a little bit of them play, and they did not look like a football team.
Well,
so what is the MAC thinking? What is Don Brown thinking? Well, the Don Brown's not thinking it. But what is the MAC? What is the MAC thinking? What does this do to anybody? For anybody?
Well, it gives UMass the security because the MAC still has a TV deal. Believe it or not, the MAC gets TV revenue from someone, and I don't know who, but they get it from someone, and therefore they distribute it. So that will be a source of revenue for UMass. It will protect them and their longevity going forward there. It is every single sport but hockey and lacrosse.
That doesn't surprise me.
They are going to stay both in hockey's going to stay in the East Hockey Division, something like that, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And lacrosse is signing a petition to stay in the A10.
That makes sense. Probably this is University of Massachusetts Amherst, just in case. I thought this was Springfield.
What it does for the conference, the more teams, it really doesn't do anything, but the more teams you have, the more viable you are. And, it's just the bigger conference you are, the more revenue you can generate.
So, little fun fact here for you. They have a wrestling division that has, I swear, half of the Pennsylvania universities in them for wrestling. Also, this is the first full member that they've added since 1998. So for those of you keeping track that, or will be since 1998, that is 26 years that they have gone unchanged, mind
Robert, does this put pressure on Notre Dame to actually buck up and join a conference?
Great question, Micaiah.
Because even UMass is doing it.
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, the only thing that puts pressure on Notre Dame is the playoff. That's what puts the pressure on them. UMass joining a conference is like me joining like a church group. It doesn't do anything. It makes me a little more holy, but like it doesn't do anything for the church, and you know what I mean. Like that doesn't. UMass is a bad football team. They are a bad football program. They have never been like no one has ever looked at their schedule and said, "God, we got to play Massachusetts this week."
Yeah.
How are
Penn
we
State
plan
didn't,
for that?
and then didn't they? Didn't UMass just upset some big Power 5 the other year? Like Auburn.
they
I
lost
think?
The past 2 years.
They lost 63-0 to Penn State last year. So
Okay, it wasn't. It wasn't last
yeah,
year.
shit on
It
that
was
one.
like. It was
What was their record
you know
last
what?
year?
They beat Stony Brook 20-3. You're right. They beat a power.
Let's go! Way to go!
Well, what was their record in
Hey,
2023?
They won 3 games.
They
Okay.
won 3 games. What was their schedule? Let's look at their schedule.
It was Mac schools and Penn State.
They beat New Mexico State. Wasn't New Mexico State the one who went on to face Liberty in the?
They beat Auburn.
No, they lost to Auburn.
No, they beat Auburn.
Oh, New
like
Mexico
a few years
State
ago.
beat Auburn.
New Mexico State beat Auburn last year. Yeah.
No, but I think that UMass upset. I think it was Auburn like 3-4 years ago. Maybe it was longer than that.
Maybe. What I'm finding interesting here is I'm looking at all the teams that they played, and a lot of them are in. Oh, maybe that was New Mexico. I always forget. A lot of them were in the Conference USA. What's the one that always has the turnover? So I'm a little bit surprised. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they ended up. I mean, yeah, they played 3 MAC schools, but I'm a little bit surprised they ended up going. I'm a little bit surprised they ended up going to the MAC, and also this is the first. So 2005, Marshall left the MAC. They had previously been a part. They previously joined after leaving again from 54 to 69, and then from
dollar
97.
bills, y'all.
So who does this leave as unaffiliated members?
Connecticut, Notre Dame.
Isn't Connecticut joining a program, a division, a program? Are they watching their programs? I could have sworn that Connecticut is joining. Connecticut. Joining.
I think you're right.
Yeah, this is what we use Google for. No, joining, not joint conference.
No, I don't think so. I think it's Notre Dame and UConn as of right now.
Those would be the only two.
Yeah, they were thinking about joining somehow
Army
the Big
joined
12.
the AAC, right? Army
Yeah,
joined
I'm
the AAC.
remembering Army. That's who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Army joining the AAC.
Well, if the MAC really wants to know what they're getting, then make sure they tune in at the end of the year when they have to play against Georgia. Massachusetts plays Georgia this year.
You know what I want to see? Good. I now want to see the MAC get UConn, so we can see two of the worst teams. Like, I want that to become like a rivalry because UConn did good last year. I don't remember what their final record was. But yes, it's Army is joining the AAC as a football only member in 2024. They'll be joining Navy in that division. Robert, so the Army Navy game will be a division game now, conference game.
In how many years will Notre Dame be a part of a conference?
How much longer is their contract with NBC?
I think they just re-upped. I'll look though.
Better question. Even better question. How much money does the ACC want to give Notre Dame? Like, let me ask this question in words that you may but
2029.
How many dicks would the head of the AAC suck in order to get? Sorry, Mom. In order to get Notre Dame in their conference?
All of them.
Because that's about the only saving grace that the AAC has a chance against future consolidation.
Also as a conference, it's like, yeah, you would want Notre Dame in your conference because of the name, obviously, and the academic fortitude. But, Notre Dame hasn't really been that good.
Because they haven't had a conference.
Well, right. I mean, as of recent is what? In 3 years? Because they have made 2 college football playoffs. They made a BCS national title game. Yes, granted, the average loss of those are 20-plus points in all 3 of those games.
I mean, Notre Dame showing up to that national title game was about as good as Manti Te'o's girlfriend showing up to watch that game.
Yeah, for sure. I said granted, but they were still number 1 that year.
I don't know. I feel like if they were Notre Dame doesn't have any chips to hold, other than the fact to say that, well, we're Notre Dame. We're a smart school.
They're getting
20 football.
So they're going to get $22 million per year until 2029 from NBC. How much are the Big Ten schools going to get? 18 now? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know with Oregon and them coming in if that changed.
But let's just divide. Their contract was what, like $6 billion?
Between 7 and 8.
Between 7 and 8, and let's just
over 7 years.
So 7 years. So it's $8 billion.
Yeah, we'll go on the high end and say 8.
Okay, so it's $8 billion divided by.
Okay, here I'm reading the article.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
The Big Ten is projected to eventually distribute 80 to 100 million per year to each of its 16 members. Now, this was USC and UCLA. I don't think Oregon and Washington were involved at this point.
So, wait, they were going to get between 80 and 100 million per year each school?
To each of its 16 members, according to USA Today, the league distributed 54.3 to most of its members during the most recent fiscal year, which is 2019-2020, not impacted by the virus. So, yeah, it says 80 to 100 per year.
Wow.
For each of its 16 members.
I mean,
I don't know how that math works.
I don't know either.
I'm no genius, and I didn't go to Notre Dame, so that math don't check out.
I mean, Notre Dame's only getting 22 a year. And I understand they can't
Notre
go join
Dame
the
is
AAC.
getting 22 a year.
Yeah, Notre Dame is
just Notre Dame,
right?
They don't have to share it with anybody.
Well, right, but
the ACC schools are getting like 18.
Right. So that's $4 more million that they're not, they can buy, 2 cornerbacks for $4 million, Who knows? Maybe you can convert someone else to Catholicism for $4 million. I don't know what they're trying to do. Do you know that UMass has a TV deal?
Oh my
With
gosh,
ESPN?
he's still on UMass.
I
did not know that.
That's how dumb it is. And I forgot that UConn won't join. And also, the last thing, I promise, they had the same record overall, UMass and UConn, but I forgot that UConn is in the Big East for basketball, so they could only join. UMass is leaving the A10 to join as a full member. So they're actually going up a division. I think they're going up to the FBS technically. So just some fun facts there for you. Continue on with what you were talking about. I just think $4 million is, I guess, what it costs. So if they paid him $8 million more a year, do you think that would get him? So if 18 plus 8, 26 a year, do you think that would be enough to get him over?
So with 18 teams, so it's the Big Ten, just going back to that, is a 7-year, $7 billion new TV deal between the three networks, right? Fox, CBS, NBC. So that's $1 billion a year. Let's just divide it by 18. I don't know how they're doing Oregon and Washington. I think it's like they get like 60% until like year 3, and then it goes up from there. But anyway, let's just say it's 18 right off the bat. $55 million each school gets. So Notre Dame, by not committing like your frat boyfriend from college, is missing out on $30 million. Let's just say they join the Big Ten. And that goes to 19, and they get immediate TV deal money. They get $52 million. Each team, $52 million. $30 million more. So now it's just not making financial sense for Notre Dame to do this. They're in the ACC in basketball. They're in the ACC in lacrosse. They're in the ACC in everything but football, where they're independent because their, quote, their TV contract makes up for it. Except it doesn't anymore. Someone say something else.
Well, I'm ready to move on. You've already covered this in your 10-minute sports report.
Well, you're the one who wanted to talk about it.
No, I said you asked a good question. I think it makes sense if the fact that Notre Dame doesn't see the writing on the wall should be scary to every Notre Dame fan ever, because we're looking at 2 conferences, like you said, for one subdivision of the NFL, which is the NCAA, in probably 10 years at this point. So my timing was wrong. I want to go talk about Michigan and Alabama's coaching, but you guys probably want to talk about the new NCAA college football 25.
I want to play
NCAA.
I want to play that game.
What I want to talk about is the fact that UCLA, with an absolute amazing hire of Eric Bieniemy
As offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Who
pick
did they
by
put?
them, but Bieniemy just went from a Super Bowl coach down to the college.
Well,
So he went.
but he was on the commander. He was out on the Commanders this past year.
Yeah, I know, but when he was on the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he went from the most sought-after coaching hire because of his work, but yet he never got a head coaching job. And now he can't even get, in college, no head coaching job either, coordinator.
Well, he won't until next year.
I mean, but that's what we've been saying for what now, 7 years? 5
Well, maybe
years?
he does. Do we know if he wants a head coaching job? Maybe this guy really just likes to be an offense coordinator.
I just find it really hard to believe that he would not get a head coaching job in the NFL with the way that the Rooney Rule works.
That, and
You know what I
also
mean?
now after we see the Chiefs just coast by on Effet Travis is down there somewhere and win a Super Bowl on that. The amount of talent that you have to have. I want to make a joke about Taylor Swift's vagina and how strong it must be to imbue power into Travis Kelce. Yeah, Simeon's back. We made a sex joke. But
immediately he makes his presence
immediately no. But the fact that they did that, and that was their offense all season, And before, Eric Bieniemy at least was developing an offense enough. Yes, it stagnated in his last year, which is why he was in Washington. But it didn't stagnate as much as it did last year with who the fudge was their offensive coordinator. Also, I'm not going to get used to seeing UCLA as the team and conference be the Big Ten. Just that's not going to happen.
It's going to be so weird. It's going to be so weird. I mean, it should be great games, though, middle of the way through next year. Robert, I want to play your game that you posed in the group chat last night.
It's a good game. It's a good game. I know. I know two of the covers. I can picture two of the covers.
All right. So here's what we're gonna let Simeon take first crack at this because we just know that this is gonna be real bad, right?
This is gonna be real bad. Now this is I am playing with two people who I posed a question in the group chat. I can't even tell you what the question was.
Well, you didn't pose it
at
all.
Okay. That's not what I'm saying. If you actually let me talk, I asked. When was that? Forever ago. Oh, yes. Alabama 2012 through 2014 running back drafted by the Jaguars was my hint. And both of you knew that was T.Y. Yeldon. So Robert asked.
Wasn't it T.J. Yeldon?
T.J. Yeldon, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got T.Y. Hilton and T.J. Yeldon mixed up.
If you're going to be wrong, at least be wrong.
Yes, the guy with...
really wrong.
Yeah,
The guy with a history of being bad with names got names wrong. So the question posed to Robert was, there have been... Well, I guess he technically took it from somebody, probably 24/7. See, there have been...
Do you just want me to do it?
4, 5, shut the frick up. 6, 9... plus 8 is 17. There have been 17 colleges on the cover of formerly NCAA college football. Who are they? Who are the athletes?
You can't even get the name of the video game right, my dude.
It used to be NCAA college football.
No, it used to be NCAA football, not NCAA college football. That's redundant.
I'm just gonna give up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Robert, that's an interesting name, image, and likeness story we'll cover after this.
Okay, so
Jannard Robinson from Michigan, you just held him up, but he was the last cover athlete.
Correct.
Yeah.
I can also get Tim Tebow was 2009 for Florida. I'm just going to take the easy ones right off the bat. All right, Makai, go ahead.
If you want me to name years, I probably can't. That's going to be, but I can probably name you players. So Utah's Ben Johnson.
Is it an Alex Smith?
Nope, Ben Johnson.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, look it up and tell me if I'm wrong or not.
I got it.
Robert, you're running this game because this was your idea.
Utah, Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Texas Tech. I think Patrick Mahomes made a cover.
No.
No. Crabtree. It was Crabtree. It was Crabtree.
I'll give you. Those are your two. I'll give you that Crabtree because you're still going to beat me, so it doesn't matter if it's a half point or a full point.
Okay, Oklahoma State.
Hey, listen. You took 2. I took 2. You took 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Are we going to let Robert
know
take
how this
2?
game is played. No, Robert's running the game. He's telling us if we're wrong or not.
Yeah,
all right. I just want to see if he knows
Pitt
them.
is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Are you looking these up, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
If they were talking to me, I'm like, yeah, that's my job right now.
He was 2000. That would have been like 2006.
5.
Got it. And USC was Reggie Bush.
Yes,
which
there
would
was
have
also there was another USC.
Or was it? It was Carson Palmer, right? Or was it Matt Leinart?
No.
Another USC?
There were two other USC ones. One was Carson Palmer, yes.
So three total USC.
Yeah.
All right, Makai, you got 1. That I took 2.
Okay.
So you have
So it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Oklahoma State, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, now Barry Sanders, can you tell me who also was on the cover that year?
Yeah, Robert Griffin III.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Baylor one.
That's the Baylor one. Alabama. Am I going again, or is it your turn, Sim?
You can go again because that was a double, so you get a bonus point.
Oh, okay. All right. Boston College. I'll take Boston College. Matt Ryan.
What year was that? Do you know?
Who? 12?
No, it would have been single digits.
Prior
8.
at a year.
Oh, 9.
Okay.
9. I would be so surprised if you would get 2008
Texas was Colt McCown, was it not?
on, because there was
Colt McCoy, do you mean?
Colt McCoy, thank you.
Okay. Yep, you're welcome.
I'm thinking of Josh McCown, right? That's the other.
No.
That's the McCown.
there was
It-
two Texas ones.
And there were both running backs, right?
No, one running back, one defensive end.
Oh dear lord!
Running backs gotta be
Old.
Mackay
It's
with a
Ricky
chance to
90
steal.
Yeah.
Ricky Williams. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Because that was 99 or
was he the original?
98. Like
Well,
no, he wasn't the
technically,
original.
The original ones were Joe Walsh, but that was 2000.
Okay, he was 2000. He was one I didn't know. The other one I don't think I know is Florida State.
Is that wouldn't be Jameis Winston, would it?
No.
2002.
Work
Oh.
done.
No, quarterback.
Quarterback in 02. Wait, white guy?
His autograph, white guy. His autograph is down in my room. It's him and Charlie Ward. It's
I
like
don't
one
remember.
of the oldest Heisman winners, and then
Yeah.
went to the NFL at like
Oh, yes. I don't remember his name though.
Oh, I remember Cal. Let Mackay think though.
I don't know Florida State. That's the one I could not remember.
Chris Wanke.
Chris Wanke.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. All
I
right.
also don't know Boise State. I can picture that was 2012, I think.
Okay.
2008 is Boise State.
2008 is Boise State.
That's why I was like, I'd be so surprised if you could get
Cal
that.
is Marshawn Lynch, isn't it?
No.
No,
Oh, I thought it was Marshawn Lynch.
his teammate.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really? I didn't know Jackson was a
Yeah.
cover athlete.
Yep. Who else you got, Sim? You're running out of real estate.
Gonna bug me. Was Oregon LeGarrette Blunt?
No. Quarterback.
Oh, it was his quarterback. Because it wasn't Marcus Mariota. That was,
Was it
after his
Chaz
time.
Malusi?
No, this is 2003.
Oh, this is
This
this
Pennington.
is Michigan up.
No. Played NFL for
Yeah. No,
I
not
want to
Ty
say
Penn.
the Lions.
Harrington.
Yeah.
That's
Joey
his name.
Harrington.
Joey Harrington. Boi-
As we were expecting. Mackay's
Boise
cleaning up
State
here.
is the current Eagles offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore.
No.
What?
No.
It wasn't Kellen?
Nope.
Was it the running back?
Nope. Still a quarterback.
Was it the
He would-
quarterback?
He would have
He
been
would've-
the quarterback that beat Oklahoma
Oklahoma, yeah.
in the Fiesta Bowl.
I thought that was Kellen.
No.
Oh, what was his name?
There's no way you're going to get that.
Last name Johnson?
No.
Or that was the running back.
It's the most off the wall last name that there's no way you could just
I remember he looks like a dude who should have played for Boise State. Who is it?
Jared Zabansky.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Is
why
the
I'm like,
name of
there's
the guy.
no way.
No.
If you could remember that, that would be
Who's
Uh,
the
West
ahead.
Virginia's got to be Tavon Austin.
no. West Virginia again. You're not going to get it. It's a fullback.
a fullback?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
No, who is it?
Owen Schmidt.
Who's Mackay, who's Arkansas?
I was debating. It's either Darren McFadden. Is it Darren McFadden? It was either him or Peyton Hillis, but I think Peyton Hillis was the Madden cover.
Yeah,
Peyton
he was the
Hillis
best
was
cover.
Manning.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Which leaves your defensive Texas guy, right? Or missing anyone else?
Let's see, you're missing him. I mean, there's a couple Alabama ones, a Nebraska one.
Michigan has
Michigan has two other ones you didn't say.
Yep.
Nebraska isn't on this list.
Well, so Nebraska would have been the very first one, and that was Tommy Frazier.
I would have guessed Tommy Frazier. Yeah.
Florida had in '98. The second cover was Florida quarterback Danny Werfel. Next one was Michigan.
That was Woodson.
Yep. And then we had Ricky. Then we have an Alabama running back,
In what year?
2001,
Oh, jeez.
which I actually kind of thought he was in Madden at this point
I have
because
no
he was
idea.
also a Madden cover athlete.
Oh, Sean Alexander was one of the Alabama ones. Now I'm
Okay.
looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then Chris Wanke, Joey Harrington, Carson Palmer, Fitz, and then 06 was Michigan.
Which was Denard.
No.
Not
was
Denard.
Desmond.
Howard Desmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it was Rich Bush, then Zabansky, and then 2009 is when, like, Deshaun Jackson, Matt Ryan, Owen Schmidt,
The
Darren
USA
McFadden,
Today page I'm on
and
says
the mascot.
2009. A lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Because
There
that's
you
when
go.
every platform had someone. 2010 was Brian Arakpo. That was Texas. That's when you stick get.
Oh, Brian. And what year was that?
2010.
What year? 10. Okay.
Arakpo was PS2.
Yeah.
You said Johnson was PS3, right?
Yeah.
This is just funny, and I'll let you continue on. Then Mark Sanchez was for the PSP.
That was your your USC quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah. How awesome is that?
The Sanchez.
And then, of course,
cover.
Crabtree, we already said. All right, continue on. Sorry to steal your thunder.
11 was Tebow. 12, Alabama running back.
Mark Ingram.
Yep. 13 was.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
There were two other cover athletes, apparently.
For 12?
For 12.
Okay, I don't have them on here.
All right, well, give me the school.
Okay, Oklahoma running back.
In 12?
This one's
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Guy before Peterson.
Guy before Peterson. He would have.
I'm assuming he went to the NFL, right?
He would have been after Adrian Peterson.
Played for the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Darren Sproles? No, never mind.
No.
Stupid.
What? No. Good. Same conference though. So
It popped
congratulations.
into my head. I was like, oh, Darren Sproles.
Nixon.
DeMarco Murray.
Oh. Okay.
And then Washington quarterback. University of Washington quarterback.
In 2012.
Played in the NFL.
Started or played?
Let's say started unsuccessfully.
Oh, geez. Do you know a Washington quarterback from 2012? Robert?
It's got to be just like an off the wall kind of person, like someone I wouldn't have thought of. I don't even know what that cover looked like.
Jake Locker.
Yeah.
Talk about a blast from the past. Jake Locker?
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
He is. He's 35, so even
good.
more rude.
He's 35 years young.
He played for the Titans for 3 years. He went
Yeah.
27. He threw 27 touchdowns for 22 interceptions.
Yeah, I'm on that pace with CJ Stroud right now in our Madden league. Oh my gosh.
You said Brian Arakpo, right?
Arakpo.
Arakpo.
Yeah.
Here's a guess for you, because I think we had this version for a little bit, Micaiah. I'll give you like 10 seconds.
Okay.
2009, that was the year Matt Ryan, Owen Schmidt, Darren McFadden were on the list.
Yep.
Or was Darren? No, I was right. The Wii version had the winner of a fan poll that EA held. It is a mascot of what team? I'm hoping you can picture this.
Isn't it Sparty?
It is Sparty. 10 out of 10. Let's go.
Let's go. Dude, I've been playing Celebrity Jeopardy with Carrie. We record it and then we play it together. So I'm getting a lot smarter.
Those questions are easier, but also...
Yes, we know they're easier. That's why we play Celebrity Jeopardy.
That's fair.
Jeopardy.
They also totally set you up to fail because they give the contestants answers. So it's more of like memory recall for them than anything. It's not like they necessarily know right away.
Oh. Well, I don't know, so they don't give me the answers. All right, let's talk NIL here and transfer portal. A federal judge in Tennessee granted a preliminary injunction Friday afternoon, last Friday, the 23rd, that prohibits the NCAA from punishing any athletes or boosters for negotiating name, image, and likeness deals during their recruiting process or while in the transfer portal. Let's back up and catch everyone up. So Tennessee... like a month ago now, probably a couple weeks, NCAA investigating Tennessee for recruiting violations. The problem is the recruiting violations were not violations when Tennessee did it. The NCAA has changed these rules constantly, and this was one of them. So a federal judge in Tennessee, and I believe Virginia, backed him up. And so now it's still a free-for-all. So even when the NCAA tries to govern, they do it wrong because they're a day late and $1 short, Robert. And now it is just a wide open thing again for Tennessee won't be punished for their violations that weren't violations at the time. What you got?
It's just the NC. It's out of everything that we figured was going to eventually happen is just essentially happening. We're watching the NCAA who, instead of putting a groundwork in and having like a stable rule, they were just like, here's NIL, have at it. And now we're seeing all the problems, and then the NCAA's like, well, now we're going to put this rule in and this rule in. But the thing is they're putting rules in like halfway in the season instead of doing what every one should do is at the end of the season, we look at it and say, okay, these are going to be the new rules from here going forward with every new person that comes in, new NIL deal. These are the rules we got to go by. That's how this would have been avoided in general, but it's just we're literally watching the NCAA kind of crumble because everything that they thought they were doing right, that everyone said they were doing wrong, is coming out to be wrong.
Yeah. This is the third L they have taken. So let's be honest. They took an L in the
NCLL.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
what they are.
The NCLL, just taking L's. That's the title of the podcast, NCLL. He's on the phone. I don't even know if he can hear us. They took an L in the court of public opinion over the Michigan thing, 100%. They took an L in this. And then they also took another L kind of midway through the season or right after the season when the judge allowed athletes to be labeled as employees. So why are you drumming your fingers? Everyone can hear that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa, calm down, NCAA.
It's NCLL now.
Let me back up a little bit.
Also, at least it's not the PGA guys.
Robert, to finish my question to you, is this the beginning of the end for the NCAA? At least overseeing
NCLL.
I mean, that started. The beginning of the end for the NCLL, that came.
I love this.
Either a year or two ago, I think. I think that was the true beginning. and now it's starting to expedite. It was kind of like it's been a slow process where it's like, well, we see how this is going to go and this and that. Now it's like, no, now we're taking the NCLL to court. Now it's going to start getting real. Now we're going to start seeing a lot more changes a lot faster, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more colleges just shoveling out money and not caring what they say.
It's very. I don't think that we will have any regulation over the transfer portal NIL contracts until the power, and either until the conferences govern that, or until the football portion of the colleges break away from the NCAA and all go under a new league called the College Football Playoff or whatever it is. Like, until a brand new governing body is installed over all of these teams, the NCLL isn't going to do anything. And whatever they do, people are going to take them to court over it.
And the NCLL cannot be an overseer of that committee.
Correct. Correct, because they'll just mess it up.
Its own self-standing thing. Like needs to, like they need to govern themselves and be like, listen, this is what's going on. These are the rules, and you get a representative from every FBS school. Yeah, it's 135. It'll be 136 when Mass gets in, but each college gets a vote. Like, do we think these rules need to be changed? And then you just do your thing.
I think the NCAA reminds me of states during COVID when they were just making up things without ever actually knowing what was going on, right? That's just what the NCAA is doing.
Yeah, it feels like they said the players, the NCAA is saying the players don't want to be regulated, so therefore we're not going to regulate the players. Forgetting for the fact that they still have a duty to the school to regulate the school and thereby regulating the players. To me, this is a player issue. This has turned into a player issue. And the only people who are going to be able to fix it is the players, and they're not going to, because you have 18 to 24-year-olds, in some cases, like the dude, what is his name? Tyler Van Dyke, who who looks like he's a 50-year-old dude, and the somehow 9 years of eligibility guys. So besides those dudes, they have people whose brains haven't fully developed, who are seeing dollar signs, playing the game that they want to play because they don't think they're going to be able to get to the NFL and play what they want. So what do they do about it? They're not going to do anything about it. The schools aren't going to do anything about it because they're making all the money, and the NCAA doesn't want to do about it because they don't want to be looked as bad guys again. So nobody wants to do anything because we're all too lazy to realize this is how Rome falls, to thunderous applause of things.
Especially, and Simeon, to your point, when you have a third string on Maryland's roster saying I'm worth $100,000, like everyone thinks, everyone does this, not just these college athletes. I mean, I even do. I do this. We all do this. Every single things that they are worth more than what their evaluation comes back as.
Also, how many DJ Uiagalelei? This is his third team that he's on. Florida State. Correct. I'm pretty sure this is, speaking of Tyler Van Dyke, I'm pretty sure this is his third team that he's on. This is Dylan Gabriel's third team that he's on. This is Will Rogers. Nope, he's
second
on
team.
This is only his second team. Like, we're allowing this to happen, and we're saying, yeah, it's going to be okay. Who knows where Malik Murphy's going to go after next year when he probably balls up?
Where's Malik? Awesome. Where's he now?
Duke.
Oh, he ended up at Duke.
He enrolled at Duke. Also, do you know who this Julian Saiyan guy is?
He's a freshman.
He's going to compete with. He's apparently the number 1 ranked quarterback in the portal, even over his now teammate. Where is he? He's up here at the top of the list too.
He's at Ohio State
Will
now.
Howard.
He committed to Ohio State, yeah.
So is Will Howard. So
Yeah.
now they're going to compete because that's what Chip Kelly needs.
Until, like Ryan Day said, until they run the football, I'm not taking Ohio State seriously.
Robert, are you listening? Yeah, they also had a running back. They had Ole Miss's running back, one of their five stars that they had transfer up there.
Ohio State's losing 2+ games.
Also, that's one of the best lines George Lucas ever has written.
Listen, Linda.
We're listening.
Linda.
We're never
Guys.
not listening, Makai.
Guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
This just has the making of a super team to fall flat on its face.
Ohio State?
Yeah. When you get a bunch of kids that have nothing, when their goal is only to win a national championship, but they're not committed to their school, you get teams that fall flat on their face. This just has the making of it.
Unless Travis Kelce is down there, then you just throw it.
Then you just throw it up to him.
Yeah.
Or the NCLL is involved.
You
what
know,
does the LL stand for here?
loves losing.
National Collegiate Loves Losing. Yep. We're renaming them because that's all they do now. They just take L's in the court system.
Well, because they're in the grand scheme of things, they're a giant monopoly that's basically illegal in the in the public world. If it wasn't for the fact that they had a bunch of all private schools who are all hiding money themselves for people and trying to make things happen. I don't know. I could complain about the NCAA and
NCLL.
The NCAA and the college football scheme really
That's
is
the
what
title
it
of
is.
the podcast, by the way.
The
NCAA.
NCAA. That's good to know. That is definitely the title of the podcast. But I'd much prefer to make fun of how old Tyler Van Dyke looks and why he went from a losing U school to Wisconsin, because that makes sense.
Air raid system, baby. Watch out for Wisconsin.
Nate Johnson went from Utah to Vanderbilt. That's a downgrade because he was a good quarterback.
Vanderbilt's coming.
Tennessee.
Vanderbilt's coming. Choo choo. Tennessee might be good next year.
I don't know because they're paying him $8 million.
Holy crap!
That's his NIL deal is $8 million. And last year he went 28 for 45 for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he only played in the bowl game against Iowa. He looked amazing, but any offense ever looks amazing against Iowa.
Yeah, $8 million.
$8 million. Good for them.
Yep.
Good for them.
To beat Iowa.
What is it with people going to Vanderbilt? That's 2 guys who went to Vanderbilt. Two kind of successful quarterbacks.
More to go until they can actually produce a team.
maybe they're actually not playing them. They're just using them to build their stadium. They're using them as bricks to finish their stadium.
They're literally just paying them to do blue collar work. Yeah, that's all that they're doing.
Oh, the North Dakota quarterback transferred to Michigan State. Dear Lord, I can't talk.
Congratulations. No one cares.
It's Michigan State.
It's Michigan State,
hell of a lot more
buddy.
than just a quarterback at this point.
Oh, MJ Morris, a quarterback from North Dakota State, is now probably going to be the starter at Maryland. That's fun.
Good.
This is just Simeon finding stuff out, hoping that you two decide to start talking about something.
Well, how about it's been an hour, so why don't you just play the music and do your thing?
It's been... I don't even remember what our outro tune is. That's
Send
how bad this is.
Nope, not that one.
Not that one. You guys are hearing them before I am.
There it is.
I don't know.
Talk.
The 4th&1 podcast. It's a shit show as always. Sorry, Mom. But we have fun. We'll probably see you again in 2 weeks. Enjoy losing like the NIL does. See ya.
Wash your hands, you filthy animals.